Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is an exciting video. It's an exciting day. I've taken leave away from work and I am now on site at a product launch event by Sonos. It is being hosted by Takchuan Acoustic right here in Singapore at the Sonos flagship store in Wheelock Place. And what we're going to be seeing today unveiled by Sonos is a brand new product in a completely brand new product category, which, well, based on that hint alone, I think you know what it's likely to be, but let's squash all the rumors that we've accumulated over the last 5 years and let Sonos tell us what they're going to be launching today and what we can expect to see in about a month's time. Let's go. Okay, right up front, today's video is about the launch of the new Sonos Ace, and this is the first headphone from Sonos. It's going to be a long video, so stick around, and I am going to start with a preamble. So back in the days when I was receiving an education in economics, there was a paper where there were 12 essay type questions which you could choose 4 to answer. Now, while the topics are usually varied, the approach to writing a good essay is rather standard. The structure will be in a form of starting with an introduction where you say what you're going to say, followed by the main body where you say in detail, and you end off with a conclusion where you say what you just said. Now, in fact, if you watch all my videos which I release on this channel, I follow this exact structure where I give you an upfront summary, at which point I would have given you the summary of the entire video, and if you have chosen to stop the video there and then, you would have gotten about 70% of the content. The video is then followed by me going into an absurd amount of details where then you are able to learn more if you are so inclined. I then end off with a summary of what I just said and reinforce the ideas that I was trying to communicate throughout the whole video. Now, no questions about it, today's video is going to be long. I've never shied away from making long videos. There are plenty of other channels out there who will give you content much faster in a shorter video, so if you're short on time, maybe those are the channels that you want to check out. But this is my style on the channel, and I like to share my experience in a very detailed manner, much like an economics paper where you put in a long answer hoping to score as high marks as possible. Now, this preamble to my video sets the stage for today's topic, the economics question. Sonos has announced a new product in a new category which they have never been competing in before. Now, this is a response to that essay question. How do you create the best-selling headphones in the world? And Sonos has aced the essay question. Now, the Sonos Ace is their answer. Now, let me start with the introduction and the upfront summary. Now, by the way, if you think that the upfront summary is a little bit long, yes, it will be. This is a new product from Sonos, and there's actually quite a lot to cover. So first off, Sonos believes that the market is ready for a premium headphone, which is primarily focused on cinema sound, with music as a secondary function. But even then, it has to do music at the highest level possible in the game, keeping true to Sonos with its roots in music reproduction back when it started. So the Sonos Ace is a product that has true cinema features, allowing true play in your headphone, replicating the experience you get from your Sonos multi-driver home theater setup. Now, in terms of target user, Sonos needs to cater this product to a new market which could consist of Android users, not just Apple users, and thus the product needs to serve mobile users who consumes video and audio content on the move outside the comfort of their homes, while at the same time replicating the Sonos sound signature. Now, owners of existing Sonos home theater setups will get the best value out of these headphones with sound swap and true cinema working together, both headphones and your existing Sonos soundbar or home theater setup. Now, in terms of physical attributes and connectivity, Sonos will create an over-the-ear headphone package using the best material put together in a form factor that is user-friendly and highly portable, so that users can take the highest quality Sonos sound everywhere in the world. Now, controls will have to be intuitive and non-intrusive with all necessary connectivity, both wired as well as wireless, supporting the latest standard. It will even carry Wi-Fi signals to recreate the best possible experience when in range of your Sonos home theater setup. All this with industry-leading battery life of 30 hours. And in terms of sound quality, Sonos will deliver on the best possible sound quality with 40mm drivers and 8 mics for ANC and ambient mode. ANC as in active noise cancelling. The sound delivery will focus on cinema, blowing every other headphones in the market out of the water when it comes to video content delivery of the audio track, while improving the delivery of music content using aptX and Bluetooth 5.4. Wi-Fi capabilities will be leveraged to elevate the movie watching experience to levels never experienced before in the headphones market. And when it comes to price, and to end it off, Sonos will price this exorbitantly at USD 449, and in Singapore it will cost 699 Singapore dollars, more than most of the other premium headphones like Bose QC Ultra or the Sony WH-1000XM5, but just below the Apple AirPods Max. Now, the value for the Sonos Ace will be apparent when compared with the most expensive AirPods Max, while costing less. The Sonos Ace will take over the world on the 5th of June 2024. Now, before going on to the body of the video essay, I'd like to let you know that none of what I've just said or will be saying in this video was actually provided by Sonos. Sonos did not give any marketing blurb on this as well. The technical specifications and features, yes, they did share in a in-person product announcement event, but if there are any opinions or superlative descriptors that I've used, those are my opinion. Now, with that out of the way, let's dive into the details, the body of the essay. So I mentioned cinema first. Now, most headphones today are geared towards music reproduction. Sure, I mean, there are headphones featuring Dolby Atmos decoding. I think Corsair makes them, and some others like B&O, Odyssey, Rig. But most are catered towards the Xbox and PC for gaming purposes. Now, in short, connectivity is an issue, and they are hardly mobile because you need to use their proprietary dongle. Now, not only that, you won't want to wear them out because they don't look great in my opinion, and they're gonna make you look ultra geek. I mean, unless, of course, that's your Halloween theme for the party that you're attending. Now, we have heard rumors that Sonos was going to release a headphone for years, back from as early as 2019. When I started the channel in 2020, the rumors were already rife, right? And they have actually filed a patent back in 2019, I believe. But what we didn't know was that they were focusing on delivering a rock-solid movie sound experience as a priority. Now, to be clear, Sonos didn't tell me that this was their focus, but there are two standout features that makes me feel that way. Now, feature number one, TV audio swap. Now, TV audio swap works like what we have experienced from other manufacturers like Bose, right? So with your Bose headphones, and if you have a soundbar from Bose, you are able to swap the sound from the soundbar to the headphone. So this feature from the Sonos, for the Sonos Ace, it is not a new feature. Now, having tried this feature at the Sonos Ace media event, I must say that the implementation was actually pretty good and seamless. Now, I probably obviously need a lot more time with the Sonos Ace right in my studio or right at home to experience if there are situations where it won't work very well. But in a controlled demo environment, it worked just as I expected to bring anything that's playing on the TV through the eARC port to your headphones. So it doesn't matter if you have an Apple TV or NVIDIA Shield connected to the TV, or you're watching cable or free-to-air TV program. If it plays on your Sonos Arc, it will play through the Sonos Ace headphones with TV audio swap feature. Now, note that I mentioned only Sonos Arc because the only soundbar that will be supported at launch is the Sonos Arc. But Sonos has mentioned that they are providing support to all soundbars going back all the way to the Beam Gen 1. And the second feature that makes me think that Sonos Ace is actually a cinema-centric product, True Cinema. Now, what True Cinema does is like TruePlay, for your Sonos Ace headphones. Now you might just be wondering, why is TruePlay required for headphones? The environment for the sound interaction is just the space between the drivers and your ears, and there's not a lot of space to TruePlay. Well, this is not TruePlay for that tiny space. True Cinema figures out how your room actually sounds like and then replicates that sound through the Sonos Ace. So in fact, when you put on the Sonos Ace, you're listening to how your room actually sounds like. Sonos has tuned, or using True Cinema, Sonos will tune the Sonos Ace to sound as though you are listening to your Sonos home theater setup right at home in your room. So how does True Cinema work, right? There are 8 mics on the Sonos Ace, and 6 of them are externally facing mics. So it uses the 6 external facing mics on the Sonos Ace to listen out to the sound that is coming up from your Sonos Arc setup, and it figures out how your room should sound like. Now from there, it applies the profile to the Sonos Ace. So when you put on your Sonos Ace headphones, it sounds just like you're listening to the full home theater setup that you're set up with Sonos Arc you are listening to. Now, in the short demo of the Sonos Ace with True Cinema in action, I was completely wowed by the effect. I cannot discuss sound in this product introduction, and I've not had enough time with the Sonos Ace to give you a sound review yet in any case, so I will reserve a full sound review for a future video. Subscribe to this channel and stay tuned for that video. Now, these two features combined, TV audio swap and True Cinema, gives me the impression that Sonos has taken a cinema first approach in the design and implementation of the Sonos Ace. Now that said, I will also be sharing my impression of the sound performance in a future video when it comes to music. Now the second point I made, which is target users. They are targeting the entire world. Sonos has always targeted home users right from the start of the company. They never had a battery-powered portable device until the Sonos Move came along a couple of years back. Now they have the Move Gen 2 and they have the Sonos Roam. Both are battery-powered portable speakers. Now they're able to use Bluetooth for connectivity when you're out and about beyond your home Wi-Fi range. But Bluetooth implementation was limited to just SBC and AAC. Android users capable of using much higher bitrate protocols like LDAC or aptX, they were left with simply just lower bitrate SBC and AAC. Now, also, being portable speakers, they won't be used in transit, right? Primarily, it was still going to be used in a stationary environment, like at a beach or at a picnic, where you're going to be sitting at one place, blasting out the sounds to all within earshot around the speaker. Now, it is portable, but it is definitely not mobile, and it is hardly personal. Now, as a pair of headphones, the Sonos Ace delivers a much more persistent usage pattern. What do I mean by that? One that is personal and directed at only one listener, and one that is mobile, meaning to say you can use it on transit, be it a public bus, train, or plane, or even when you're walking around or working out at the gym or hard at work. Now, theoretically, that opens Sonos up to a whole new world of users. Now, bring the Sonos sound signature to many more people who would never ever think of buying a Sonos home-based product in the first place because of lack of space, lack of permanent homes, or simply users who desire a much more intimate music or movie listening experience that is completely private. And Sonos has implemented Bluetooth 5.4 standard, which is the latest rectified Bluetooth standard available. Now, interestingly, they must have changed this standard a couple of times since 2019 when the patent for the Sonos headphones were first filed. And because Sonos is targeting the whole world of mobile users, they have also implemented aptX Snapdragon sound. Now, this should reach out to the Head 5 snobs who will insist on the highest bitrate Bluetooth transmission and scoff at the low bitrate AAC and SBC. The support for aptX puts it right up there with Bose QC Ultra and the Sony, which supports wireless high-res music with aptX, adaptive, and LDAC for the Sony respectively. So yes, Sonos Ace is coming for the whole world. As for the Apple AirPods Max, sorry, they are primarily for Apple users only and will languish with the AAC low bitrate transmission. And very unfortunately, the Sonos Ace will no longer play via AirPlay 2 from Apple devices. More about that in the details for connectivity later on. In the next section, physical attributes and connectivity. Now in this section, I'm covering what Sonos is delivering in the physical package of the Sonos Ace. I actually don't have the Sonos Ace product with me right now. They have not sent out the units for review. Now package as in what you will get out of the headphones, not so much the packaging of the headphones, but on that note, the Sonos Ace, the ear cups, actually they rotate to allow the headphones to sit flat. The hinges won't collapse like the QC Ultra. This is the QC Ultra, and this is what I mean by collapse, right? So the whole footprint is going to be a little bit larger, which is similar to this, the Sony WH-1000XM5, right? Because the hinges don't collapse either. Now the ear cups themselves, they are removable and they are marked left and right in the inner cup. This is the Apple, yeah, this is the problem. This is the Apple AirPods Max. The cups are also removable and they are replaceable, although a little bit expensive. And they are marked so that you know which is left and right. But there is a very tiny, small design cue that helps with that. Now the rear end, look at this picture here, the rear end of the headband is actually angled ever so slightly with a chamfered indent. Now when you're holding the headphone, your thumb will naturally find the right resting spot. And that is when you know that the orientation of the left and right ear cups are correct. Now on the band and the ear cups, they are made from vegan leather, so they feel very soft, very comfortable to the touch. Now I've not spent too much time with them, so I can't tell you if the clamping force is a little bit too high. The Apple AirPods Max clamping force is very high because this is heavy and they want to make it stay. I can't be sure about the Sonos Ace yet. I haven't had extended listening sessions with them. But it's definitely not too light, and that I can tell, so it won't be hard to keep them on, and it's going to be a little bit heavier than the Sony's as well as the Bose because it comes in at 312 grams, but they are way lighter than the AirPods Max, and AirPods Max is mostly aluminum and metal construction. Even the headband is steel, although it's rubber coated. The whole Sonos Ace is mostly plastic, but it does have telescoping steel, steel bands, right? Now the AirPods Max is just a stupid design which only prioritizes the material used and controversial looks. Now that said, the AirPods Max has a nice telescoping antenna here, hinge, which allows for the head size adjustment, similar to what the Sonos Ace is offering, with design that looks almost identical. Maybe it's the same, but I can't compare it side by side. When I get it, I will show you. Now, another similarity to the AirPods Max is that it doesn't rely on touch capacitive controls. The AirPods Max has an excellent implementation of a digital crown here for volume control and playback control. It is actually clickable. Now, there's a separate button for ANC and ambient mode toggle. The Sonos Ace has a button that can be pushed up to increase volume or slide down to reduce volume, arguably a little bit more intuitive than a rotary knob, because I don't know whether you are turning front, is it louder or softer? Up, down, very clear. The button can also be clicked for play, pause, double click for forward, and triple click for backward track control. Same control schematics as the AirPods Max. Now, I'm not a fan of touch control, right? This is the Bose QC Ultra, and this is the Sony WH-1000XM5, because I've had multiple mistouch experience when I am using the touch control. A physical tactile control button is actually much better implementation, offering a feel of direct control. And not only that, you don't have to tap at the ear cups and have the tapping sound transmit to your ears while you're trying to listen to something. Now, the Sonos Ace also has a button to toggle the ANC on and off like the AirPods Max, as well as a physical on-off toggle button that doubles as a Bluetooth pairing trigger, something which the AirPods Max lacks. Now, on that ANC button, it toggles between ANC and ambient mode. Now, the ANC mode works reasonably well. Again, not enough testing to tell you conclusively. And the ambient mode is actually one of the most natural sounding that I've ever tested, with nary a lag between what is actually happening outside versus what is transmitted to you and allowing you to hear what is happening outside. Now, apparently, the battery life on the Sonos Ace is rated for 30 hours with ANC on. Now, some manufacturers, they will call the battery life with ANC off, and turning it on will further reduce battery life. And the Sonos Ace, 30 hours regardless of whether it is on or off. Now, you're likely able to work through an entire week of use without having to recharge at all. Now, that said, if you find yourself completely flat out, Sonos promises 3 hours playback with just 3 minutes of charging. Now, this is good enough for short flights and trips and will definitely last you most full movies, and probably 3 albums played back to back, all from 3 minutes of charging. Now, the Sonos Ace also relies on USB-C for charging, which is thankfully a lot more universal than the stupid lightning charging port on the AirPods Max. Now, the USB-C port also allows for the included 3.5mm plug to USB converter to deliver sounds from legacy devices. The 3.5mm cable to lightning from Apple is actually an additional optional purchase costing another US $35. Now, interestingly, the USB-C port on the Sonos Ace also allows you to connect another USB host device so that the Sonos Ace can appear as a sound output device. This has been confirmed to work from the Sonos engineers. Now, I don't remember any other marquee headphone manufacturers who is currently allowing you to do that. I tried this on both the Bose and the Sony just minutes ago, and it didn't work. So I would say that it would be interesting to just plug the Sonos Ace to any USB-C equipped tablet without a 3.5mm jack and listen to sounds playing from there right away. So yes, physical connectivity is well sorted out. What about wireless connectivity? Now, as I've mentioned, this supports high-res wireless audio with aptX over Bluetooth 5.4 transmission protocol. The actual implementation will have to be tested when I get my hands on the headphones. The basic bitrate of AAC and SBC are also supported for the wireless connectivity to almost every other Bluetooth host device out there, be it a Mac or Windows PC or phone or tablet. But one of the key defining features of any Sonos product, right, be it the Sonos Arc or the Era 300, 100, any product, right, is Wi-Fi. Now, all Sonos products to date can be controlled via the Sonos S1 or S2 mobile app, desktop app, or web app. Now, the app is actually not responsible for sending sound to the Sonos products. In fact, it is just sending an instruction to the Sonos speaker to start streaming from the music service via a direct Wi-Fi connection from the Sonos speaker to the music service over internet. Now, this is not the case with Sonos Ace. The Sonos Ace Wi-Fi implementation does not receive music streams from your service provider. The Sonos Ace itself does not have a built-in streamer which pulls music from music servers. The Wi-Fi implementation is a peer-to-peer Wi-Fi mode implementation, allowing it to communicate with other Sonos device only. And in the current day situation, specifically the Sonos Arc. Now, the P2P Wi-Fi connection with the Sonos Arc enables the exchange of information like head positioning and TruePlay data to enable TV sound swap and True Cinema. The Arc then transmits the sound to the Sonos Ace via this P2P Wi-Fi connection for playback. The same connection, Wi-Fi, using higher bandwidth. Now, there is no hardware that is built into the Sonos Ace to be used as a standalone streamer that connects to the internet music service to pull down tracks for playback independent of another connected Bluetooth device. Now, put simply, this is not a wireless playback device where you can walk around the house and have music stream over Wi-Fi to your headphones directly. You will definitely still need your Bluetooth device connected and within range. The sound is actually being sent from your mobile phone or tablet or PC laptop to the headphones directly. Now, this could boil down to having to balance battery life in a headset. Now, the Head Unity headphones, which is a true Wi-Fi headphone with a direct internet connection via Wi-Fi and a streamer that is built in, it only manages 6 to 8 hours of playback. It is literally a mini computer all built into one device, the headphones. But that Head Unity headphone costs upwards of $2,000. And not to mention that in order to select music and playlists, you will still need to use the Unity app from Head, which kind of defeats the purpose. So this is probably a good call on Sonos' side not to develop a full Wi-Fi streaming headphone in the Sonos Ace. Now, a few features will be missing as this is not the full implementation of Wi-Fi in the traditional Sonos sense. You won't be able to group the headphones to another Sonos room that is playing at the same time. You won't see the headphones as a Sonos room, if you think about Sonos setups as rooms, as they call it. Now, actually, you come to think about it, right? The use case of having speakers play at the same time as headphone is not really a valid use case. If you're on headphones, you won't hear the speakers anyway. And if the speakers are playing, why are you on headphones? So mutually exclusive, so probably a good call there. Now, AirPlay 2 is also sorely missing. I'm not sure if it is hardware limited or licensing limited at the moment, and I'm hoping that this will one day come to fruition via a software and firmware update. Now, the fourth point in detail will be sound quality. Well, this is an announcement video for the Sonos Ace, and I can cover all the features and technical specification, but I'm not supposed to talk about the sound. Now, this will be covered in a future video when I get my hands on the Sonos Ace and spend some quality time with it. In my short demo session at the media event, I can only say that I'm suitably impressed. Now, it's hard to say that it's better than the AirPods Max or the Sony or the Bose, but I would say without a back-to-back comparison, it sounds good, it sounds similar, and that is actually a good thing to say. And to say that it is hard to discern the difference probably means it's a good thing. Now, all these are top of range offerings, so if they are not immediately sounding different or inferior, then it bodes well for Sonos. Now, the thing is, like I've mentioned as a key point for Sonos Ace, it is a pair of home theater first headphones. The main consumption pattern for the Sonos Ace will be videos, movies, series, basically the spoken word, dialogue, right? How well it fares may need to be judged in that respect. So do be patient with me. Let me spend some time with the Sonos Ace with movies and music that I'm very familiar with, and I will deliver a sound review very, very soon. Now, the last point in details that I want to talk about is the price. Now, the Sonos Ace will be available for $449 and in Singapore for 699 Singapore dollars. Now, like I've said in the introduction to this video, this is expensive. Now, Sonos was never cheap to begin with, right? And well, this price, if you can afford the launch price, it will be available from 5th of June 2024 onwards. Now, both the Sony XM5 as well as the Bose QC Ultra, they are top of range headphones costing slightly less. Now, retailers are known to slash the Sony and the Bose price regularly, even just months after release. So you're going to get them for significantly less than their price and therefore significantly less than the Sonos Ace, assuming Sonos holds its price at RRP for most parts of the year. Now, the AirPods Max, it is significantly more expensive by a huge margin, retailing at $549, which makes it a more vanity buy than great value. Now, you will stand out and everybody will know that you're wearing $550 on your head when you wear the Apple AirPods Max. The Sonos Ace like the Bose and the Sony, they look rather generic. There are two colors, white and black. And for pricing comparison, let's leave out the AirPods Max, right? Because it's so much more expensive. Now, if you compare the top of range Sony and the Bose, we will have to consider, is the extra money that Sonos is asking for the Sonos Ace worth paying? Now, if the difference between these other flagship models and the Sonos Ace is 20 to 50 bucks in your local currency, then I guess it boils down to whether you like the sound signature that the Sonos Ace is delivering. But if the price difference in local currency is higher than that, right, you probably have to consider whether you actually have a Sonos soundbar in a home theater setup that you can use the Sonos Ace to its full capabilities. The killer feature for the Sonos Ace is TV sound swap and the real cinema implementation. Without a corresponding Sonos home theater setup, you're not going to get a lot of value out of the Sonos Ace. Now, I hope to have given you a detailed enough body of this Sonos answer to this essay question. How do you make the best selling headphones in the world? And I've covered quite a bit of ground. Now, I thought of leaving some of those information out for the full review, but you guys deserve thorough information about this new product in a new category that Sonos has created. Now, to conclude, the Sonos Ace is a first of its kind cinema-centric headphone, aiming to deliver the full cinema experience for mobile users, which is a new target group for Sonos, extending better support and quality of sound to both Android and Apple mobile users. It carries all the physical features, attributes, specification that we can expect from a flagship headphone from a major audio brand. Now, connectivity is definitely top-notch with additional features including USB-C direct connection and compatibility with legacy audio devices with an included 3.5mm to USB-C connector. You don't have to pay more for that. But all this comes at a slightly higher price tag that Sonos hopes can be justified with all the additional features and promises of years of update to refine the product performance and experience. Now, my personal recommendation is that if you own a soundbar from Sonos, I'll say that you can go ahead and scratch that itch and order the Sonos Ace. I'm definitely getting one for myself, but that's me, and you know I'm a nutcase when it comes to Sonos. If you do not own Sonos home theater products, then I say wait for the product to be available in store. Go to the store, check out the Sonos Ace to listen for yourself if the sound quality is up to your expectation, or if their approach to delivering cinema sound, to delivering video-centric sound is suitable for you. Or you can simply wait for my upcoming review where I will cover the sound quality for both music and movie performance in detail for the Sonos Ace. Now, Sonos has created a very compelling product in a new to Sonos category, and I'm hopeful that they will continue to refine the product through software updates and create more interesting products in this category. Right now, the earbuds are a missing companion in this category for Sonos. So this concludes the 5-year-long speculation that Sonos is entering into the headphones personal audio market. Here it is, the Sonos Ace. Stay tuned for all the related videos that will be coming up for the Sonos Ace over the next couple of weeks and months. Now, if you are intending to get a new Sonos soundbar to accompany the Sonos Ace headphones and use real cinema to enjoy movie watching in a personal environment, then check out the two most popular soundbars from Sonos in my other videos right here. The Sonos Arc is the flagship Atmos capable soundbar with upward firing drivers for height effect, and the Sonos Beam Gen 2 is also Atmos capable, much more compact for smaller rooms and TV. And I will see you in one of this video or my next sound review video for the Sonos Ace.